I like this one better than this one.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the debut episode of Conversations with Mother. We're so glad that you're here. This is a place that we wanted to bring together for honest conversations. Conversations about healing, family, identity, relationships, growth, and the stories that shape us throughout all of these years. So I am Blake. I am here with Michele, also known as Mother. And we are here along with Tyler and Peter. So these are the four voices of the podcast, and we are glad that you are here. So nothing is off the table here at Conversations with Mother, so go ahead and pull up a chair, and we're going to delve into why we created this space, why we think it is needed, and give you a little bit of our stories and what we are bringing to the table with Conversations with Mother. So I'm going to pitch it over to Mother herself and let her explain a bit about why we started Conversations with Mother.
Well, I'm Michele. Though over the years, many people have begun to call me Mother. And not because I claim to know everything, right? And it's not because I'm perfect. It's just because, what did I do? I didn't give birth to all of you either.
No.
Such a big name for somebody who just decided that people needed space. And I gave the room for that space.
You did.
And I think I gave room to those who felt rejected. I gave room to people who were trying to figure it all out. I gave room to people who needed help. And it's just because I've been there. And I didn't like how it felt. And I didn't like the uncomfortableness of it. And I didn't like feeling so isolated about it. And I wanted to be able to have real and actual conversations with people that we didn't shy away from.
Yeah.
And we weren't talking about it. We weren't whispering. Or whispering the word China.
Exactly. Oh my God. Creating that space to have that just open dialogue, back and forth.
Yes. And it's one of those things where it's like, where do we have these conversations? And for me, it was like, I wanted to be able to have those real conversations. I saw a lot of people who were really lonely and who felt really isolated and didn't have a community. And I grew up with not really a family of my own. I had a family, and I was lucky enough that even though I didn't have my bio family, I had wonderful people around me growing up in Hawaii who took me under their wing and took care of me. And it felt so right. And I knew that family didn't have to be blood relatives. It could be people who you chose. And that kind of community matters now more than ever.
Oh, absolutely. When everybody's feeling very isolated.
Yeah.
Very isolated for whatever reason it may be. It seems like the world is turned against so many of the minorities and smaller communities. So we rely on our chosen family.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I will second that to me, coming into the fold here, at first I was like, Mother, that's going to take time to, but now I just so willingly call you Mother because I will second what you said. You do create the space. You do, you see it and you basically go, come here. And I have this area for you right here to just feel and be and exist. And I know that that's when I say Mother, like that's what comes to mind whenever I call you that, because that's what I tell them all the time. I'm like, she's like a mother figure to me now,
Yeah. And I will be the first person to admit that I am not perfect. I am not a perfect mother. I'm not at all. But the thing is that been through a lot with my own children, with children that I have just taken under my wing, and now they are my children, And it's just, I've been through a lot. I was isolated a lot throughout my own childhood, and I wanted to create that space. And in the last 5 years of schooling and my internship in clinical mental health and counseling, and now being a pre-licensed licensed professional counselor, it's so different, where it's like I see the loneliness everywhere I look. Everybody is saying, I don't have community, I don't have this, and I don't have that. Leo, that thing.
We also have about 19 animals. No, just kidding. We have 7 cats, 3 dogs, 8 chickens.
8 chickens. We have other
Not
cats.
in the house. The
chickens are not in the house.
So if you see us, shooing animals away, that's what
we're
it is.
doing.
But if you're watching the video cast, if you're listening to the audio, you're gonna miss it all.
You'll hear us like,
yeah, just know that's us going after a cat.
Yeah.
We just had one trying to take out one of the cords, so it's all good. But back to why we created the space.
But yeah, I just, the need for community for myself even is to just to have a community of people, to be able to not feel so isolated too. I know with COVID, everybody that's what we were supposed to do. We were supposed to isolate ourselves. And in that process, I feel like there was a lot of separation of things. And then also in my growth, I lost a lot of friends. I lost a lot of family, and I lost a lot of connections that I had just by creating boundaries.
Yeah.
And not accepting the bare minimum anymore.
Yeah.
And I noticed that a lot of people that are on their healing journey did the same thing. We lose people, we gain people. And I'm so happy that in all of this, I gained a wonderful community. And I want to share it with everybody.
Yeah.
And I want everybody to be a part of it. Come sit at the table. Let's talk.
Yeah. Well, and just to be able, we were whispering about, vagina and penis, oh my God, earlier, but it's so true. It's when you start having these real conversations out in the open. And that's one thing that I love about the space that we have here. And why we're also creating House Many Paths too,
Yeah.
the business that we're running, is because here, when something comes up, it's not, we don't hold it in, we don't fester it. It doesn't build resentment. We just go, hey, you kind of pissed me off earlier, and then that gives that person a chance to respond and have an open dialogue. And I think that that's what we're trying to do here, and go a lot deeper than just the freaking surface level.
Yeah.
Of, oh, I have trauma. Well, why do you have trauma? Let's dig into it a little bit.
Yeah.
So
let's dig into it.
So that's how we have these 4 voices on the screen. But I kind of you kind of went into Hawaii and stuff like that. And how you earned this role of mother through just giving space. But we also have 3 male perspectives. Hang tight with me. I know I said male perspective. We've done some learning and some growth and some healing. But we're gonna kind of hear these out here. For me, I have a very interesting lived experience.
I love it,
oh boy.
Yeah. So for me, I'm Blake. I'm the host. You'll see these 2 faces on every episode. These 2 will join us on select episodes. So it will be me and Mother sitting here. That's one of the dogs, if you hear that in the background. But anyways, it'll be me and Mother here with you every episode. But for me, I grew up in a mid-sized town, I guess you could say, in East Texas, in the South, a Baptist family. So that mentality was drilled into me at a young age. And then I had to learn how to undo that. One of the first steps, this is going to be really funny, but one of the first steps in undoing that was the show Charmed. the show charm brought the world of Wicca in front of me, and I went, "What is this?" And so then I went on this huge spiritual journey that has still lasted since I was like 16. Now I'm 36, so for the last 20 years, I have been delving into my spirituality. So that's been a lot of undoing the condition of religion, religious upbringings, and the patriarchal society that is centered around. That has been fun. And then also growing up knowing something was different about me, but I couldn't place it until about 5-6 years ago when I became a paranormal investigator and started investigating all of these haunted locations and everything. And then I started seeing things and hearing things, and then I was like, oh, I've got mediumship abilities. So that's what that is. I can feel things, sense things, all that stuff. So that's been fun bringing that into the fold, into the healing journey that I have been on for the last 2-3 years now, since my divorce. So that's another perspective that I get to bring to the table. Not just a divorce, but a divorce from a man, because I do identify as gay, which is another perspective. So I don't know. Everybody likes to call me like a hodgepodge of shit, that I bring to the table. I'm a medium. I'm a drag queen. I'm gay. I'm a paranormal investigator. I have my own podcast in the paranormal. Everything vaguely paranormal. So I sew. I mean, it's like all these things.
You code.
I code. I do coding
Wonderful
too. Yeah. So, but anyways, I'm excited to bring a male perspective with a feminine touch to the table. I'm very, very in touch with my femininity. It's one thing being with my partner now is that I'm allowed, I'm going to say that because I was not allowed in past relationships to express said femininity. Painted nails, brighter colors. Heaven forbid a man wear pink or something,
You look like pink.
Yeah, but embracing that femininity. So I'm excited to bring all of that to this table and kind of through my lived experience. What about you, Tyler? What do you bring to the table besides food? We know you can do that.
I like food. I'm a big foodie. I love food. I love making different things that are just random and fun and taste delicious that are good for you. Sometimes not good for you. I'll make all kinds of whatever. It's just as long as it's something fun and everybody can enjoy it. It's more the experience as well. Like, if it's everybody's gonna be like, oh, I love these donuts. Like, yeah, me too.
Yeah,
for sure.
Might be pressured in to eat a few of them.
Oh, absolutely, all the time.
Pressure, so much pressure.
So much pressure.
There's not that much pressure being applied for people. Exactly. But I mean, I grew up in a small town in Southern California. It's called Ramona. It's outside of San Diego, and it's, in my opinion, and from what I saw, it was very conservative. There is not a lot of acceptance there unless you are a conservative cowboy, and it was very toxic, masculine. Like you're the man. You're going to be tough, and you're going to work hard physically, and you're not going to show emotions because that's what girls do, and this, that, and the other. And it just didn't sit right with me. The racism in that town, it just didn't sit right with me. I was friends with everybody, and still am. But it's one of those things where what I bring to the table is that perspective of having to unlearn all of those toxic masculine traits, because I 100% had them, and I still have some of them, and I'm still working through trying to unlearn a lot of those things as they come up through the time that I'm spending here on Earth. I spent a lot of time alone. My father wasn't around, and my mom worked really hard to keep food on the table, and when she wasn't at work, she was doing various other things. So I spent a lot of time alone, living in the mountains of Ramona, and on 10 acres, I was literally by myself. So I spent a lot of time in nature and connected with like the land and connected with the creatures, like, catching snakes and doing all that stuff. So I'm very in touch with nature. I'm trying to unlearn all the toxic traits and trying to just be a better person and understand that, women deserve to have that voice as well. Like, there have been so many times in my life where I've witnessed like women just being shut down.
Yeah.
Like, your voice doesn't matter, or anything feminine really in that matter doesn't matter. Like, it's the male is the man's in charge, this, that, and the other, which is total bullshit in my opinion. Like, it's like we should be listening to everybody's point of view. We should be working together as a people to be able to really move forward and progress in this world. You know, so I feel like that's what I bring to it.
It's a unlearned male perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An unlearned male perspective. I'm trying to get more in touch with my feminine side and be okay with not being like feeling like I'm going to be judged for doing something that's not only masculine.
I'm sure all the gay reels that I send you on Instagram are helpful.
I love those. I get a chuckle every time.
Every time I see one, I'm like, oh, that goes to Tyler.
It's amazing. It's an amazing world. It really is.
What about you, Mr. Peter, light of my partner in crime? What do you bring to the table, babe?
Well, I'm still on my healing journey, as you were mentioning earlier. I'm still unlearning a lot of the issues, kind of along the same lines as Tyler. Believe it or not, I'm actually from the same town as Tyler. We were both born and raised in the same little town called Ramona. Gorgeous place. Great place to visit. Horrible place to live.
Yep.
And that's actually where I met Mother. And she's also in that space that she created where you can be yourself, where you can be genuine. She was the one who actually gave me a name for what I felt with my sexuality. I identify as pansexual, meaning I don't like what the person is packing, for lack of a better term. I love who the person is, who's in here. I fell in love with the heart of this man. It didn't matter if you were a man or a woman. I fell in love with you. And Mother was so kind as to educate me on that, and I have been able to embrace that at a young age and was able to grow into that. And sorry. As for the spiritual side of things, I am a Norse pagan by path. Whereas both the other gentlemen are embracing their more feminine natures, I am attempting to embrace the masculine without the toxic. The not the I am big, I am strong, I am big He-Man. It is the path that I feel like I'm walking is more the provider, the protector, the man who works the field so his family can eat. Not in today's age, but something along those lines. And that's the path I am currently walking. Also spiritually, as Blake is a medium, as his mother, I'm studying runes and the symbology and power of that ancient language. And that's been calling to me since back when Mother met me.
Yes, absolutely.
See how much space you gave?
I didn't even know, which is the best thing about it.
Yeah.
As I didn't even know. I just didn't want my kids or their friends to grow up like I did, where it was like you had to hide who you were.
Yeah.
It was like, for me, it's like, come to the door, take your mask off. And, I had no idea at that point. I had no idea what I was doing.
I think that the perspective that you have, I'll give you a word for it, if you will.
Mhm.
Not to put words in your mouth, but I know I tend to help you on some things, is that you're the active healing journey perspective. Not to say that we're not still on our healing journey, we are, but there's been a lot that we've been able to undo and work through as far as trauma and triggers and stuff like that. And I think your perspective that's very unique as somebody who's so open about what they're experiencing with triggers and trauma. Because I know the talks that we have, you bring a whole different perspective when you talk about tying in that masculine perspective and being told that men don't cry.
Yeah.
Men don't feel these emotions. You're actively understanding and doing all of that. So that's definitely a unique perspective that you have. I'll put that. Sorry.
No,
Not put
I
words in
agree.
it.
No, I completely agree. It's the you're allowed to cry. Heck, when I first started living here with mother again, I had a full blown panic attack shortly after leaving my marriage, and I freaking bawled my eyes out. I spent, I believe, a month basically never leaving my room except to use the restroom and the occasional shower. I was feeling so much that I didn't know how to process it. I didn't know what feeling was until I was in a space that I could be genuine, be real. As mother said, take the mask off and have emotions. Heck, I'm still working on not defaulting to bottling them up, putting them away, because men don't show feelings besides the negative ones. Anger or rage or wrath, whatever you want to call it, the masculine feelings. That's how I was brought up with my dad, and even my mother didn't help with that, or my mom, my bio mom, not mother. I need to correct that. The one who actually gave birth to me. Being in a very Christian household with the classic Christian values, where the man is the head of the house and the woman's job is to take care of it and rear the children. It takes a village. It's not.
It does.
It's not just. Heck, you can't even afford to do that in this day.
I know.
But I think that that's why it works so well, and I think that's why these four voices on this podcast work so well. It's because it's all different backgrounds, it's all different lived experiences, identities and personalities, sexualities. Yeah, there's so much that's different between us that we've each experienced in a different way, and how we love and how we help and how we heal. But together, like, we know what we stand for, which is that we always want people to be growing and evolving and trying to take accountability and do away with these toxic traits that we're conditioned in at such a young age. And I think that that's why this is such an interesting quartet to put on the couches together, so to speak, not to get clinical.
No, I know.
Not to get therapy based, but put us on the couch.
That's okay. Like that's just it. The couch. What is the couch? The couch is the place where we can be, who we are. We can land. You have a soft place to land. You get to be here. You get to breathe. You get to be messy. You get to be growing. You get to be loved. You get to be all the things that you want to be, where we're not pretending that we know everything.
Right.
We're like, I don't
We
know.
I don't figure it out as we go.
Shit. How are you feeling about that?
Exactly.
Where do you feel that in your body?
On the doll here, can you show?
But it's like, and that's just it. Like, we can bring out the humor because shit gets heavy.
It does.
Shit gets
Lord.
heavy.
It does.
But it's so great, I feel like, to have a place where shit can get heavy.
Yeah.
And also be able to feel supported in being that heavy. And none of us like shy away from feelings.
Yeah.
And so we have that, we're honest with each other. We are learning to grow together.
Yeah.
Instead of growing apart, and we have all these different rooms for others. And
I think that's a huge thing. Sorry, I didn't know.
yeah, no, that's
Go
fine.
ahead.
That's my thought. Like, it's just like that, like we have space. And if you want to be in our space, we have that space for you.
I think that's the biggest thing that the four of us have learned is we got room created for us, and we want to create the room for others.
Yeah.
And because, as you said, circling it back full circle at the beginning, is that there's so many people who feel lonely right now, where they're like, nobody else is experiencing what I'm experiencing. I'm alone in this. And the thing is, it's like, no, you're not. I'm divorced. He's divorced.
Right.
I've lived a gay life. I'm a drag queen. I have a weird female perspective as a man. Like, there's all these different things. You're not alone. And that's what the most important thing is about this podcast and why we're going to be hitting such heavy topics. It's not, we're going to have fun and humor along the way, because humor is great, but we're not going to use it as a deflection.
It's also healing.
It is healing.
It is
but
healing.
we want to bring these heavier things out where it's like, it's okay to talk about what you're going through.
Yeah.
And it's okay to tell others that you're not okay.
And it's okay
If
to be
you're not okay.
mad and sad and all the feelings that you have. And you don't even have to have the same perspective as me.
Yeah.
And that's what I love. In all honesty, like, what brings this all together for me is like, I opened my home to all the riffraff of Ramona.
Ramona.
Well, I ended up being like the Kool-Aid mom, right? So like everybody was allowed to be themselves, hang out at my house, do the things that they wanted to do, be goofy. Like back then we weren't as educated on autism spectrum disorder as we are now. I got on the neurospicy kids because
I'm one of them.
I know, because I created space, and I was like, no, dude, be yourself, right? So it's like, who knew that, like, just thinking about, and that's the thing, like, I think all of us think that way now, where it's like, oh wow, somebody gave me that space when I was growing up, and that was my aunt and uncle, my auntie Myrna and my uncle Bill. They gave me that space when I was growing up, and I never forgot that. They're like the most special people in the whole world, and they gave me that space, and it was like, wow, what if everybody had this space? And I feel like now everybody here is like, yeah, what if everybody had that space? Let's do it.
The conversations with Mother and House of Many Paths came out of that.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Make it happen.
Well, Blake made it happen. So.
Well, it was a joint efforts, but I did a lot of the back end stuff.
Yeah.
I'll get my back.
And I will.
And
You did a good job.
I got some websites going and some social media channels going, and I've set up this lovely studio.
That's all fantastic. You did an amazing job.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Not looking for accolades or anything like that. It's just I wanted it to happen, and I knew I wanted to do it with you three. So when you and I were like, let's fucking pull these two Tweedledee and Tweedledum into the picture, and let's make it happen. But so kind of got given the perspective of what we all bring, why we're here, why we created this space. We've touched on kind of some of the things we might be talking about. What are the things that we're going to be covering in future upcoming episodes?
We've talked about a lot of things.
We have. And I kind of want to give the listeners a chance to understand, like, no, this isn't just going to be us sitting on a couch
No.
and just bullshitting for, an hour at a time. Like, so what are some things that may be on a list or y'all may want to individually cover that will be on this podcast?
Where we start? I mean, there's so
Queer
many
identities
things.
for me is like number one.
Definitely queer identity.
Yeah.
Emotions are going to probably be a series where we talk about emotions like A, B, and C. All of
A
that.
10-part
A
miniseries.
10-part miniseries, exactly.
Feelings wheel.
Today we have
Yeah.
the will.
All of those things. I mean,
Today we're going to be discussing anger.
exactly.
I mean,
A lot of little wheel that we spin.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, anything, nothing is off the table.
No.
If you guys have any suggestions that you would like to hear us talk about that we might have perspective on that you're curious on. Like they can maybe bring stuff up.
Sex. We're going to be talking about sex.
Yes.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Penises. Vaginas. We're going to whisper it every time, right?
Well, we have
Yeah.
to.
We have to now.
Yeah, we have to.
In the comedic sense, yes.
Yes.
When we're having a conversation, it's going to be penis and vagina.
Yeah, penis and vagina. Yeah.
But it could be all kinds of stuff. Maybe we talk about, what we bring to the table. Like we get more into rooms, we get more into like mediumship, we get more into Reiki, and all of those types of things that we are going to be able to provide for people when the time comes.
Chosen family.
Chosen
Yeah,
family,
definitely.
absolutely.
Undoing family systems and the belief that blood is thicker than water.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
And the family trauma that came with that.
That will also be a 10-part miniseries.
Absolutely.
Today we're covering fathers. All right, let's go.
Yeah.
And then when we talk about the trauma, we talk about how we heal.
How we healed it. Absolutely.
And that how did we have conflict? Because we've all had conflict.
Oh, conflict repair.
Boy.
And I had conflict with my kids,
Yeah.
there was a huge rift with my kids. And then, all of us at some point, I don't think you guys got to see it with me, but Tyler and I went through a whole bunch of crap, and then I lived in survival mode for so long. I think Tyler lived in survival mode too. And you guys did
Yep.
too. And
Yep.
so, Peter came to me in survival.
Yep.
Hence the panic attack.
Right.
And how do you become yourself
Afterwards.
after that?
Yes.
Yeah.
When you've gone through it, and if you've gone through it, you know what we're talking about. When you're in that survival, like I'm just getting through. I'm just existing.
Yeah.
I'm just doing what I need to do to get day to day.
Make
I'm
it
just
to
surviving.
my bed at the end of the day, just
Yeah.
to wake up and do it over again.
And how it's okay to be in that state. Yeah.
Because it's
okay.
scary. Well, and it's scary. We're not going to delve too far into this right now. We're still going to talk about some things we're going to cover up this podcast, but it is scary. I do want to touch on it. The fact that you come out of something that you're in survival mode in life, marriage, whatever it may be, trying to find your identity or whatever. Then you go, crap, who am I? And
That's
that has
right,
to be the scariest freaking question that you can ask yourself. When you realize that you've attached your identity so closely to something or someone
Yeah.
that it's just consumed you.
Yeah.
And now that is gone, you're like, who the hell? Who is Blake? Mine was my marriage. Who is Blake without his marriage?
Right.
So it's like, ugh. Yeah, we're gonna delve deep into that and the healing journeys that follow.
Yes. Because that's the point, right? Is getting through it.
Yeah.
And we can do hard things.
Yes.
We can.
That was one thing that I learned through at the beginning of my healing journey. I was told, write down the scariest things or the things that you deem the scariest in your life and make it like an I survived this list.
Yep.
And so I did. The two biggest fears I had in my life up until I was prior to being divorced was getting divorced and losing my grandmother. Well, both happened within 3 or 4 years of each other. So I was like, you know what? Bring it on, life. I have literally faced my worst fears at this point. I lost my marriage. I lost my grandmother. Marriage was the good loss, but that was the two scariest things to me. So I wrote down that list, and that's kind of where I started in the healing journey. So I can't wait to get into healing journeys because I know we each have a way different perspective.
Well, and our spirituality plays a part in that as well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
of course, we'll talk about spirituality and what that means to each of us and what it means to you and
And
what
the
it.
culture that we've created around
Yes,
it and
absolutely.
with each other and in this house. And y'all are probably going to see different faces pop on this couch or pop on the screen even. We have ideas for special guests that we're going to have on. Some of the adopted siblings of ours, your children, may jump on.
There's 10 people in this house, so get ready.
Yeah, so you may see different faces from time to time, but I'm just excited to talk about it.
Yeah, me too.
And just be able to kind of, I don't know, just share with everybody. Again, those conversations that are usually hush hush.
Right.
We don't talk about that type thing. So,
Never mind.
We don't talk about. No, we're gonna get stuck in our head. Never mind.
No.
It's too late. It's already happened. It's already happened.
Oh my gosh. I think the busiest, words are hard.
Words are hard. Words are very
Words
hard.
are very hard.
But you're doing a great job.
The biggest what?
The biggest thing for me is it's like whoever you are, wherever you are, if you feel like an outsider, if you feel like life is complicated, if you're healing, if you're not healing, if you're still figuring it all out, you're still like in the moment of building a new life. I want you to feel like you belong in here.
Yeah.
And in this room. And I'd love to hear feedback. We love feedback. We don't listen to haters.
Well, that's setting boundaries.
No, we listen to haters. We'll gladly put in the comments. Might we direct you over to our healing journey episode so that you too can begin your own?
Yeah.
Because what is hate other than jealousy?
Yeah.
Ooh. That's what I'm saying. What is hate other than jealousy? So you've got some things that you need to figure out, my friend. Why are you jealous about that?
Yeah.
Maybe you should start journaling about that. Do a little bit of shadow work and integrate that in. Ooh, shadow
Ooh,
work.
shadow work.
Ooh, shadow work. Ooh, shadow work.
I'm not
She
there
will
yet.
get you every time.
Yeah, she will.
For those of y'all who don't know, shadow work is basically revealing the darkest parts of yourself and allowing them to feel love and integrating that into your everyday life. And it is a bitch.
Yeah.
It is allowing yourself to be like, I feel shame over this. Let me bring it to the light. Let me show it some love. Let me show it some attention.
But it feels so good when you get to the other side.
It does.
When you realize that you're safe afterwards, it's like, oh.
One of the biggest things, and you all three got to experience it here, that I had to dig out from the depths of myself because it had to do with my self-worth, was allowing myself to be loved, allowing myself to be cared for. I remember crying, bawling my eyes out because this one had changed plans. And was like, I'm going to come home early. And I'm like, you changed plans because of me. And then he leaves and you come down. You're like, come on, I'm getting you a facial. And like, we go up there and I was like, why does everybody love me so?
I don't know.
I didn't know how to take it.
I know.
You
It's
know?
hard. It's hard
And that was part of my shadow work, was to be like, hey, it's okay to receive care and love.
Absolutely.
I am worthy of that just because I exist. So that was good old shadow work. She'll get you every time. Yeah, don't worry. If you don't know how to start the shadow work, we've got a few people here who have done it and continue to do it. It's not something you graduate from.
No.
And healing is definitely not something that you graduate from. No, we always want to heal, always want to grow and evolve. And I will say also, healing is not linear either. You can feel like you're on an uphill slope, and then all of a sudden you're down in the bottoms again, and you got to pull yourself back up. But that's how it happens. It's cyclical, ups and downs. I've rambled enough. I'm going to drink my tea. It's not liquor; it's root beer.
As the oldest person in this room, I can tell you that the healing journey never stops. And I feel like it's a kind of a cool thing to do it like together.
Yeah.
And not quietly.
Not quite. Heal out loud. You know what I heard?
Yeah.
Heal out loud because we almost lost you in the dark.
100%.
And as the youngest person in this room,
Shit.
yeah,
Sorry.
healing is scary. You guys are talking about shadow work. I am just stepping my toes into that, and it is terrifying.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Healing's scary,
That's
but
okay.
I get to literally every day, I get to wake up next to this man who I have seen just in the time we've known each other. I have seen the leaps and bounds you've healed, and I'm seeing the other side of the fence.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing what can come of the healing journey I'm on, and seeing the good that's going to come from all this fear and everything is motivating, to say the least.
I appreciate that. That's very sweet. It's very sweet. Warm fuzzies right here. And right here. No, I'm just kidding. Warm fuzzies in both places. Up and down.
Yay.
No. This is who we are.
This is who we are.
So,
There's always a pun or a sex joke
absolutely.
somewhere.
Absolutely. Well, we wanted to jump on screen. We wanted to introduce ourselves, introduce your hosts, your co-hosts, and just kind of tell you a little bit about the perspectives that we're bringing, what we're going to be talking about. But in the meantime, we have a couple of options that you can, if you have questions, if you, whatever it may be, you can reach us through emails. We've got House of Many Paths. It's either Tyler, Michele, Blake, or Peter at houseofmanypaths.com. You can go to houseofmanypaths.com website, check that out. That has all the services that we offer as far as Reiki-based sessions or intuitive symbolic readings. If you want any of that stuff, it does have a link on there to your clinical therapy sessions that you can book and be able to talk about these things. So we're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, House of Many Paths, and Conversations with Mother. Conversation with Mother actually is only on Facebook, but we do have the podcast on the House of Many Paths YouTube page. So go follow us. Go click that subscribe button so that we can remain going live and bring you these sessions every other week. We're going to be live every other Saturday at 9 a.m. where you're going to be able to sit down and have your root beer coffee with us. But yeah, go and check that out. And we have a link tree as well on our Facebook that you can find all of these links and information at. But I just wanted to make sure that we got all that out there, that there are different options that you can go and check out in the meantime, in between episodes. And I'm excited to just bring all the different perspectives and topics.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be fun. So any final thoughts from you three? Tyler, we'll start with you. Since you're on that side of the couch. And your name's Tyler.
First.
Yeah.
It's because your name's Tyler.
It's because my name is Tyler. That's often a dad joke that I use with everybody in the house. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate you guys getting this far in the video and sticking with us. It's going to be a very exciting journey that we hope all of you can find comfort or any sort of insight in. Yeah, I mean, other than that, I'm very excited. Very excited to see this chapter of our community.
Well, because your name's Peter, you get to go second. Sorry to steal your joke.
Sure, it's all good. It's all good.
I'm looking forward to this because we're finally going to be able to share the space that Mother created for me back when I was still in high school, and be able to share it with all you watching, and hopefully all you will be able to find the peace, the guidance, whatever you need from this space going forward. That's what I'm excited.
I'll definitely piggyback off of that. I think it's I think the space that there's a lot of people out there who I know need a mother figure or parental figure, father figure, something along that lines. And I know for me and my relationships that I have with both my parents, and I didn't get that a lot, and so I'm hoping that by opening up the house and opening up our table, that there's somebody out there who can hold on to that if they need to and feel like they have a space with a mother, with a parental figure or something, or a big brother, or a father figure, an uncle, a brother, whatever they may need. Because we know through our lived experience that it's not always bio family that you end up with, it's chosen family. And so my last message on that is that you are chosen here, you are welcome here, you are seen here, you are valid, and you are supported here. So that's what I want to be taken away.
100%. And because my name is Mother, and this is Conversations with Mother, I do want to say thank you for sitting at the table with us tonight. However you love, however you feel, whoever you are welcome here. So From mother's house to yours, blessed be.